morning, sleepyheads. Today I'd like to tell the story of my voice. Those who are aware I'm trans sometimes ask me about my voice training, exactly how I got my voice to be what it is today. And my answer always is, I don't know. The one time I ever looked for advice was by watching a YouTube video, but 10 seconds in my ADHD quirk activated and decided to watch something else. I tuned my own voice over time, and while I'm not a trained professional or qualified to give advice, telling the story of my voice and how I figured out in my silly little ways might even help you, dear sleepyhead viewer. I've always been shy and quiet, and that included being ashamed of my own voice, which made me want to speak, a challenge of its own. However, I wasn't entirely quiet. When I was little, I would pretend every day of my life was a musical. When I was the first to go to school, I had this sudden urge to dance and hop around while I imagined the world changing to the hum of my silent melody. Which, if anyone saw me, they'd probably think that was very silly. But this odd passion of mine shaped the things like singing in the shower when nobody else could hear me. This helped me be familiar with my voice. How some parts of a song would be low, and some require me to shout my lungs out. By using your voice more and playing with it, it gives you a better picture of what you're working with, and you don't have to necessarily sing. Just experimenting with your voice is enough. As time passed, I sort of realized I had a certain control over my voice. However, trying to keep a certain high or low was pretty difficult. If I was planning it to be my forever voice, I would have to try to maintain it as long as I could, as if I was holding onto my last air bubble. Actually, that's kind of a good way to put it. If you let out all of your air at once and then try to scream, you might find your voice sounds a bit like you might be able to reach that squeaky point, but it's hard to maintain it because you need air to breathe. It's very similar when you reach this high note and you fight to keep it. If you keep doing it, you'll slowly realize that you can maintain it a bit longer than last time. I do have to say, do not do this thing that I just did. It might hurt. This challenge was one I decided to take on when I decided to live stream about every single day a few years ago. My streams would go on for hours and I would be blabbing on and on and on, and every time I try to reach that high note again until I couldn't anymore. My throat hurt. You can see in some of my old bots that they start with a high pitched voice, but as the stream goes on, it's harder to maintain it. I think the best advice I can give is to think of voice training as a self-discovery journey. Maybe just like me, you hadn't had a chance to use your voice. Just playing around with it, you'll slowly discover a big spectrum that your voice is capable of. And you can't really force it. It'll be a little hard, but with time, you'll literally soften your voice and get used to it. At least that's how I did it. Another teeny thing that worked for me was learning a new language. When learning a new language, you challenge what you already know to new pronunciations, new manners of speaking, and from a personal experience, it really helped tune my voice. I'm currently learning Russian in Duolingo just for fun, and hey, maybe it works out for you too. You can add me and remind me to keep doing my lessons. I've always had a habit of getting obsessed with something before dropping it no more than a week later. Come to think of it, it'd be incredible if a voice training version of Duolingo existed. I envision it and it helped beyond anything else. I think that's as much advice as I can give. Sorry if it's not the professional guide you might have expected, but there's a ton of great guides here on YouTube. Please feel free to do this at your own pace and in any way you like. There's many options. This was the story of my voice, and I hope it might help a little. Thanks for watching, Sleepyhead. Take care and good nighty.